Okay, so let's get into the next part of this reading. Let's look into more so what her external and internal vibe or how she presents herself to the public. Let's look at that. So we just talked about what she felt towards her fans, what she feels currently. And I feel like she really takes a lot of thought and consideration into how she frames her mindset towards her fan base. So she's a very thought-provoking person. First thing we're getting also is the King of Gabriel. She feels like really action-oriented because of you guys. She feels like she can keep her eyes on the big picture, leave the details to others. It also is about experience that leads to success and genuine concern for others. So she has a lot of concern for the people that watch her content, how they understand her, how they perceive her even sometimes. And even when you can't control what people perceive, she still cares greatly about how people see her work, how people see her action plan, how she executes her talents to the public. So it says here that she likes to make bold and ambitious choices. Great progress is possible with her. So she's very action-oriented. She's very much in her masculine energy. If you guys are looking at these cards, she kind of operates more so in that because she focuses on how she can execute her vision. And she likes to meet people that share that vision, that can help her, and that's what she feels with you guys. So she feels like she can share her vision, which is a very vulnerable thing to do to other people. Okay, so let's look at her external feelings or how she presents herself on the outside. How does Josephine Langford express herself on the outside? We have the Hanged Man or perspective here. There's a better way, pause for reflection and insight, dare to be different. So externally, she likes to come off as different. She likes to make sure that you guys are aware that she is very much her own. She doesn't have to be like anyone, and she also tries to look lackadaisical about it. She tries to kind of be very relaxing. Taurus energy is coming through, even though the sign associated with the Four of Michael or the Four of Swords is an air sign. She feels like she's both air and earth, so she has this mixture of Taurus and also of Gemini coming through in this reading. This doesn't have to be something that she has to have in her birth chart, but I'm very curious about those two. I would love to see what that is. So let's keep going. Perspective. So she's very open. She likes to see things from a different perspective. She does not like the old antiquated way of doing things. She likes to think on her feet. What else? Spirit, we have the Three of Ariel. She's very work-oriented, Capricorn energy. She likes to focus on externally, personal insights, artistic endeavors, working with others in a cooperative manner. She loves partnerships. She loves being at peace with people and feeling like she can work with people. Even if she doesn't feel completely at peace, feeling like she can come to some understanding and agreement with people. That means a lot to her. Okay, very stable, practical energy coming through. And lovers, yeah, Gemini energy. Making choices from your heart, deeply emotional commitments, and the power of love. The power of love does so much, and I feel like she looks at it that way. She tries to see people not through the lens of what she's experienced and who she is, but more of what other people can show and express that really allows her to see the world in a new way. She's very open energy externally. Let's look at internally how she feels. How does she feel internally about her fan base, about herself, about, it's a lot of questions, right? Let's just see what her internal feelings are like. What's going on inside? Okay, let's see, Page of Raphael, and we have the Knight of Raphael. Interesting, she's grown up in the public eye, and I feel like, wow, Queen of Raphael underneath. You see how many there are here for how she feels internally? She has a lot of she's very well balanced, because we already talked about Taurus and Gemini energy. She's coming in with a lot of cups, a lot of open, emotional openness. Very introspective. She's a very introspective person. She likes to also, it's like she likes to think on her feet as well. So she's coming off as someone who wants new when it comes to an emotional situation, whether it be love or whether it just be the connections that she brings. I feel like she's going to see a lot of people that she connects with in the next, weird, I heard 20 hours. So I feel as though she might have just a number of people coming in her path and her way, not in her way to hurt her or to obstruct her in any way. It's more so coming alongside her. So you're going to expect to see some messages regarding people that really just enjoy her content or enjoy her as a person, that want to team up and collaborate with her, want to have intuitive insights, like talk about deeper subjects rather than just the surface level. Very committed person to love, to openness, to experience, to just enjoying life and not taking things too harsh. She does not like starch. For some reason, against starch, like when you put starch on your fabrics, it makes it a little stiff. She doesn't like being stiff. She's a very fluid person. When I see the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck, that tells me that she has a very sweet, nurturing energy to her as well. She likes to follow her heart, focus on what makes her feel good. It's not just all about the logistics of it. It's how she wants to feel fulfilled and feel emotionally connected to her fan base. So they want us to know that internally she has a lot of love for you guys. Okay, if you guys don't know this, she has a lot of love coming through with regards to opening to people, opening up to people. You can be a celebrity and be very closed off because you're protecting what you have, you're protecting what you think is sacred or what you view to be sacred, and a lot of the times it comes off cold. She seems real open, guys. Divine guidance, that's Taurus energy. The search for meaning in life. Consider an alternative approach and surround yourself with wise teachers or friends. She's really interested in growing and connecting and networking with people. You would say, oh yeah, networking is very, very common, but I feel like some people are just naturally good at connecting with people. And it's also not only because of one reason could be because you feel like a chameleon, like you feel like you mix and mesh with people very well because you can kind of alter your appearance or alter your way of thinking in order to understand people better. She feels like a very fluid person, but she also is coming from an understanding of who she is as well, because I feel like she's been isolated in the past. Isolated because people didn't understand her to some extent, to where she felt like she was alienated or orphaned. But what she did with that was she learned a lot of lessons. Rather than just cowering, she decided to say, you know what, I'm going to make a solution to this feeling of feeling stuck, left out, and abandoned by other people who didn't understand me. I'm going to use that to compromise, to find the patience to look at people, despite whatever they may see in me, to look at people with patience and self-control and have this forgiving energy about herself. So she's very forgiving. You'll notice there's some people in her life that she might need to let go of at some point. I feel like this person we talked about in the beginning, the family member, she needs to really assess whether that's a good idea for her to try to reassess something of the past that was not helping her. She's going to find a solution to that at the end of the day, but she's a very forgiving and healing energy when you sit with her, sit in her presence, just get to know her. Wow. So we're getting a lot of information already. Let's get into more of her personality. Let's look at her archetypes here, because I feel like even though she's a very forgiving energy, I feel like she stands up for what she believes in. So she's learned to stand up for what she believes in, because in the past she felt like she had to accept that people weren't open to her. At some point she felt like people were closed off to her because she was different. We have the Martyr in reverse. Addiction to self-pity was something of the past. So her past energy was seeing that she didn't feel like she fit in. And this likely could just be prior, because I'm seeing like school-aged relationships where people were just kind of trying to separate from her because she was different. And she likely could have been bullied in some way. But she searched for meaning in that, and she became a rebel with the Rebel card. Challenges authority to affect social change. Reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs, and healer. Wow. Yeah, she became her own healer. She healed her own insecurities surrounding herself, because people tried to feed her this narrative that she had to be a certain way in order to gain the affection and the attention of other people, and she just did not want that. So she rebelled against that, and now she's helping others heal. So if you're drawn to her content, I would say the main reason is likely because she's a healing energy, and because she actually shows you that you can actually have your own story to tell that's new, that's different, that people may not understand at first. But guess what? It's like you're not quite fully aware of who you are until you continue to grow. It's something that you have to be okay with, not knowing who you are completely, because you're always evolving. I feel like she gives people comfort in knowing that they're always evolving and they don't have to know everything and understand everything at every given time. Liberator. So yeah, her energy in the past was this, and I feel like she still operates in this energy. But this is kind of her narrative, her healing narrative is what I'm hearing. Shapeshifter. Yeah, you know that chameleon energy I mentioned earlier? Shapeshifter energy is navigating through different levels of consciousness, your ability to see the potential in everything. I feel like she's a very nurturing energy, but she's also a very like abrupt and potentially destructive energy, meaning that she can really make things blow up. You know, for instance, when she comes into a room, she may bring up questions or thoughts that make you truly consider things in a deeper way, and that's why she's getting, look, the guide. So everything's kind of detailing this as a story for us. She's a guide for people, and I think she tends to bring up a lot of controversial things, or she tends to bring up a thought pattern that people aren't used to. Very eccentric energy here. Saboteur. She needs to just be wary of sabotaging something because she is that forgiving energy that we spoke about. She needs to be careful with sabotaging herself to help or assist other people. We also have Child Magical as her current energy. So seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. I feel like she's really open to some certain people in her life. And I feel like she needs to get out of this lack mentality with her friendships and her close, her companions. Because I feel like she has some past companions that are coming up to her or coming into her life again that are family members or friends that are not in alignment with her. But I feel like she wants to give them a chance. That keeps coming up in this entire reading. Same with her fan base, to be honest. I feel like she has a lot of people surrounding her with abundance coming through with these I Ching coins. I feel like her abundance is merely starting. Number 10, burden. She might have the burden, I'm hearing the burden of proof, of people always asking for her to prove herself. Because I feel like with the series that she did recently, people might think that's it. That's the biggest that she'll be or do, or the biggest thing that she'll accomplish, but she has unlimited possibilities coming through as long as she continues to focus on duality. She doesn't always have to operate in the same character that people expect of her. Today's a new day. Number 11 is coming through. She's getting a lot of the primary, the primary numbers, I would say. I don't know if that's legitimately a word or a phrase, but I'm getting it in that way. She has number 13 and number 10 and number 11. So it's just very close to each other, these numbers. And I feel like that's indicative of her, I'm hearing possession of her life, of like taking control of every iota, every aspect of her life up until this point, of being accountable for the burden of being a celebrity, of being a star, of having people watching you and assessing you so commonly, so much. Time to breathe out. She needs to take time to relax too. So that time that you see her relaxing, this time where she's kind of focusing on preparing for this big transition, this big project, she needs to take that time to breathe. And this is why it makes me wonder about that companion or family member that came up earlier, if they're giving her more stress. It's time to take action is what they're saying. After she breathes out, she's going to be really busy. It's literally a breath, and then she's going to be like, all right, gotta go, gotta keep going, gotta keep doing something. What's interesting is we had that Aries energy come in, you know, the time to take action with regards to her career path, but then we have slow and steady. So this has been in the making for quite some time. She's been very patient with herself. Let's look at, let's go into something here. We looked at her overall energy, her internal and external views, her archetypes, past and present. So let's look at anything that we should know with regards to Josephine Langford and her fans. We have Two of Pentacles. She's trying to find balance with her fan base and with her personal life. So like her public and personal life. I feel like she's going through a huge transition. This could also just be moving, because we had the World card come up earlier. We have the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like she's trying to manage her finances and figure out what to do, because she has to make more, I'm hearing money moves, so like moving into saving, investing her money, and acting on her inclinations, her interests artistically. We have the Hanged Man, that's coming out twice. So that's the energy of someone who's taken a lot of time and energy and deliberation with regards to her fans, and she wants to manifest something new. We have the Fool energy. Very playful with you guys, but yet very wise. She's very playful, very kind with you guys, but she's very wise about what she does and how she operates. She's waiting for an opportune time. Whoa. Yeah, so we're waiting. She's waiting, but I heard we're waiting. You guys might feel like you're waiting for something new to come out. Please know that I'm hearing 4 months, 4 to 6 months, and the Six of Pentacles is here, which is about giving and receiving. You guys are going to receive something 4 to 6 months from now. We're getting sixes again 3 times. So I would say that in the next 4 to 6 months, you guys should expect that. Moving forward into her soul tribe, she's going to be partnering with a couple of people that are going to be really cool. I feel like they're going to be helping her build something really beautiful. So this might be a project that is ongoing, like it's going to have a number of series, or it's just going to be something that happens really rapidly after you hear about it in the next 4 to 6 months. I feel like she's going to be very, very dependent. Wow, I heard dependent. So she's going to feel like she's a part of a group of people here, and that she's going to be the one dependent on some leader. And that takes a lot of trust. So that means that she's going to have to trust, or there's someone that she's going to be trusting with regards to her career path, her acting. So it might be someone that's in the public eye that is a Leo, or it's someone that has a lot of accolades under their belt. A lot of accolades that's going to be like kind of, she's going to be apprenticing for, or something like that. An apprentice.